me, we get the shit, make the split difference. Everyone around you ain't gonna be your people. You should know. Might know the name, they might know the game, but they ain't people. Ain't working 9 to 5 cause you gotta work around the clock. If you ain't with it, you tell me what the fuck you about. Don't run around with who come around just to run your mouth. The niggas watching them streets talking might know the how. My homies want the diamonds, all the green and all the gold. Love of money, root of evil, something you should know. Been to hell and back, I've been to places you won't go. Saying that you love me, tell me who you love before. I'm painting everything around me moving so slow. I ain't like that other nigga that you used to know. I ain't got no time to waste, and baby, you should know.
Definitely. Released 3 weeks ago.
So when they love you, know that it's real. Money come and go, people come and go, love come and go too. Better watch you come around you, cause all eyes on you. They gon' watch to see how you move and try to do what you do. Think what they seeing is true. I swear to think they know you, but they don't wanna deal with what be coming with.
Hey guys, artist interview with Paul North. Just waiting for him to join. Hey Queen, can you share the live with him, please? I think I sent it to him. Hey, hey Fuzzy.
My homies want the diamonds, all the green and all the gold. Love of money, root of evil, something you should know.
It's an artist interview.
I've been to places you won't go. Saying that you love me, tell me who you love before. I'm painting everything around me moving so slow. I ain't like that.
What's up? Just waiting for him to join.
I ain't got no time to waste, and baby, you should know. In and out of love and tell me how it's supposed to go. Baby, you should know. I ain't like that other nigga. I ain't got no time to waste.
Hopefully he'll be with us in a moment. Let me just send this to him again. A guy called I Am Paul North today. I'm interviewing him. I can't remember where he's from, but we will soon find out. Hey, all right, let me get you in. Right, you need to switch your live on. Usually only that works if you're on your phone. So are you on your phone? Everybody make sure you follow I Am Paul. Let me just pin his... This is the person. Pin comment. There you go. This is his manager. Also in the comments. So make sure if you want to book him, you go for Philip Queen P. I just call her Queen because she's my fellow queen, you know. Hello, how are you? Good afternoon, good evening, as it is over in the UK. We are now at, I think, 9 something. So, how you doing there? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling really good about everything so far. So
I know. I just had some comments from the people just seeing a music video. Just because I just held the thing up, and they said that you're talking about some facts there. Obviously,
yeah.
it's about women though, isn't it? Or is it just general?
No, it's just general. Because even the people, like, you have love for everybody that you have around you. You have your friends, family. It can be towards relationships. A lot of people think this is towards women. I'm trying to figure out how they just figure that. But
you know what women are like, though? Women do doing that.
Yeah.
We'd be like, are you talking about us?
Yeah, no. It's nobody specific. It's more has to deal with anybody that you have some kind of relationship with. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
I think it's just because people have it's that stigma attached to it, you know, the stigma of, you know, oh, he must be talking about women. Like, just the females was thinking about that. I just realized I've got makeup all under my eyes. Anyway, I, even with women though, if a woman was singing like that, men sometimes would think, is that towards that? But I can kind of see the overall picture because general life is talking about the relationships and that you have with people in general. So, so you've just released that 3 weeks ago.
I released the video, yes. The song actually came out originally in 2016.
Oh wow, that's a question I was gonna ask because it's quite a big gap between your music albums coming out and your visual. Is
Yes.
that have you got a method behind that?
Um, it's not really a method. It's more I have to do things somewhat on my own, so it makes things a lot harder. Um,
Mm.
I'm not really sponsored by anybody, so everything that I have done, and even with the video, it has more to do with waiting on certain people to get things done. You know, so um, like that video, it was originally shot 2 years ago. Originally shot 2 years ago, and I had to go back and redo it because
Wow.
it was such a big gap between it. I had to make sure that it was the same type of feel as it was before. You know,
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was a lot to deal with trying to get this video out. Now that I actually got the ball rolling, and I think a lot of people are starting to take me more serious. It's more, um, it's a better, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, it's a better rollout pretty much. I guess you could
Mm.
say that. But after this one, I have another video that I'm working on called Heartbreak Hotel. So every 3 months, I think I'm gonna try to put out a video to get it, get people's attention again.
Yeah, try and stay on top of that because you have to be consistent. Sorry,
Yeah.
hold on. I just got to address something. King Dominio, we'll talk after this. But yeah, no. Okay. So, because that's quite one of the things that's kind of like when I was doing my research on you, I was kind of like, there's quite a big gap. So I kind of wanted to know the reasons behind it. But sometimes things in life happen, you know, sometimes that happens. And, you know, hopefully with getting like releasing this video, this will keep your career. Because I think you've got an event. Are you going to an event soon as well in Florida?
Yes, it's supposed to be an event. I'm still waiting on the full details on it and everything before I actually put out the information though. So
Okay. So is it like you performing or is it just like a networking event?
um it's more for me performing than networking. I mean, I'm still gonna network while I'm there, of
Yeah, of
course.
course. Silly
But
question.
yeah.
So, so you're based in Jacksonville, Florida, right?
Originally I'm from North Chicago, Illinois, and I moved down
Oh, you moved to, what made you move to Florida?
to Sunshine. I like
I,
um it's a lot better and easier to deal with. For me, it's a slower pace down here than it is in Chicago, but I'm more of a laid back person, so it's fine for me.
yeah, Chicago also, like, they've got some great artists come out of Chicago, but
Mm.
apparently it's a very unsafe environment as well. So if you, like, not necessarily, it's just, I think it may be just because I'm in the music industry that I see rappers coming out of Chicago getting killed and or something happening to them and stuff like that. And you hear a lot of the music, like Von, the music from Von, the music from Mo Free and stuff like that, who talk about things like that as well. So that's the reason why I was kind of like, are you like, did you escape from that, or was it literally just because you know need sunshine is it gets you away from that dark world. That's what I feel anyway. I don't know if you feel that. Like I get seasonal defective disorder or something like that. So I'm a lot more unhappy during the winter than I am in the summer, and the sun's been shining. So is that what you meant, or is it literally because of the kind of the lifestyle in Chicago?
Um, the it's part of it. The main reason I left was I needed something different. I knew if I stayed there, either one or two things was going to happen. Either I was going to end up dead or I was going to end up in jail. So, you know,
Smart
I,
move.
I try to remove myself from that kind of position. That way I won't have to deal with those, certain groups, or me personally, I never had to worry about that kind of stuff because, my family is like really big in Chicago. So we never had those kind of issues with anybody on the outside. And if we did, it got handled, accordingly. But overall, like it's I don't want to say it's a super dangerous spot because, like I said, I lived there my whole life
Yeah.
and family there, so it's never been that kind of issue with me. But as far as like other people, a lot of it too is how a lot of people react to situations. Like you have the people that, somebody dies and then they got to go back and get them because somebody else died on their side. And it's an ongoing cycle. So the best way to kind of avoid those kind of cycles is actually to remove yourself from situations.
Yeah,
You know?
that's the best thing to do. So just going back to your album in 2018, so you dropped quite a few albums in 2018, or is it singles or albums? So you dropped I Am Paul North,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got Heartbreak Hotel, and then Tears. Are they those three other two? Are they singles?
Tears is part of a series that I'm actually working on.
Okay.
I usually drop that right before I drop an album. So here's like a introduction to what you're going to experience with the album. Heartbreak Hotel is that one is actually about a woman. Then you should know it. But if you pay attention, like how the whole album is set up, it's basically like a story.
I can hear it.
Basically,
But it's a very different sound in your album though, because your album is like the beats that you've chosen on your album draws people in as well, and it will make them draw into the lyrics.
mm-hmm.
Because I don't know whether it's anybody else, but it gives me a little bit of a kind of a throwback but new era vibe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that.
So, so it's kind of like because it's music that I would like the instrumentals would be music that I would listen to if I was going to like an event or something like that. So that's the reason why I was like, this has really like drawn me in. And then obviously hearing your lyrics as a part of it, telling the story, it's like it's very different. And that's the reason why I was like, are you going to be bringing more of that in? Like, are we going to hear more of that from you?
I would definitely make sure I make that a priority. That more sounds like that come out. Like I
That's
said,
my preference. Like, I'm not telling you to do it. That's just my preference. Like, I just heard it and I was just like, it's like, because I'm 35, so it's kind of like I like those throwback sounds, those kind
mm-hmm.
of throwbacks to bring into the new era, and that's what I felt you had on that album, and it really drew my attention in. And I ain't gonna lie, because it was back in 2018 that you dropped it. I was like, I'm actually vibing this. Like, it will never get old. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I think
Yeah.
that's in my opinion. I can't say for everybody else, but that's kind of music that I would definitely listen to for a lifetime because I will always be able to go back to it and be like, it's got that draw in it. So,
Mm.
but sorry, go on.
That's good. I'm glad that it came out to be that kind of sound for you. Like I said, I'm always experimenting with my sounds and everything like that. So I try to venture out than more than just a lot of people, they want to stick to a certain type of sound like their whole career, and for
Yeah.
me, I'm too much of an artist to try to stick to one thing. Also, like with me being a beat maker as well, Um, oh, if you didn't
Switching the
know,
boy up.
oh yeah, if you didn't know, I made like most of the beats on that whole album. You should know I made myself. What else? I also had Heartbreak Hotels, what I made. The
Wow.
first song on the album is also one I made. Love It and Want It All. All those tracks are the ones I made on my own. But like I was saying, as a producer and an artist, it's kind of hard for me to just stay in one box. You know what I mean? I like,
If you're an, we'll say an artist is not always, because you don't sit there and go, I'm a rap artist or I'm an R&B artist. Like that's another question I was going to ask is like, what genre would you say you fall under? But if you say you're an artist because you've got that kind of like that
yeah,
round categories that you could fit into, you could just say you're a musician. You don't need to even label it because yeah, I can see where you're coming from because I feel like with your kind of creativity, you sound like you could go down the pop route, and especially with your voice as well. You could
mhm,
go down the pop route, you can go down the R&B route, you can go down the hip hop route, you can go down quite a few avenues there. Have you ever
right.
been told that?
Uh, actually, this is like I wouldn't say this is the second time I heard it. I didn't
Mm.
really pay attention, but now that you're saying it, you know how when you get the second opinion, it's always better than the first one. So it's so yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. But so just got a few questions to go through with you as well. Okay, so what like when did you know that you were a musician and what made you take it seriously?
Um, let's see, what made me take it serious? My friends actually made me take it serious. It wasn't something I did on my own. It was more kind of forced on me. Like get
Oh wow.
everybody around me, they were like, "Oh, you should rap." I don't understand why you don't rap. Like you writing like poetry and stuff like that, but you're not like. And even with the poetry, it was more like me just getting my feelings out on paper. Like when
Yeah.
I wrote Tears. Originally, that was a poem to myself, and
God, gave me goosebumps.
yeah,
I
it,
love
it was,
poetry. I love it. That's
yeah,
amazing to be able to convert that into an actual song as well.
hmm and like I said, like my friends was kind of like they forced me, like they sat me down in the studio and said, "You can't leave the studio until you write down, until you finish." And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and knock some stuff out here and there. And I just kept practicing over and over again, and it was like, okay, maybe I can do this, you
Mm,
know. And from that point on, I started taking it more serious. I really started taking it serious in 2018 when I actually put the album out. It was like, okay, I made the album in 2016 and I held on it for 2 years. And then it was like, okay, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to let anybody hear this or is this just for you? And then all my friends are telling me that I need to go ahead and put it out. That way the world can hear. They might be able to relate to exactly what you're going through, but because um, if they don't have the some people don't have the words to say, and if you have the words to say it for them, you should let them hear it. So I went ahead
exactly.
and put it out, and then it was kind of like, okay, I'm taking it a little serious, and then I kind of took a step back, and I didn't promote it like I should have. Like I caught fire at first, and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna take it too much serious. And then I was like, okay, forget it. I'm just go ahead and do the video, get everything knocked out and everything like that. So
Mm,
that's, I guess, I want to say about 2019 is when I actually took it more serious. But
mm. You're like
right,
this hidden talent, and you come across very shy.
yes, very shy. I know it might not seem like that in the video, but I'm very much a shy person. I like to
Mm,
stick to myself for the most part.
yeah,
Um,
that must
so
be hard as someone that's an entertainer, like because you have to kind of like bring yourself out a bit more and force yourself to do that kind of stuff. I kind of understand the staying to yourself thing. Like, I can relate, and I know it's hard to kind of, see that because I do a lot of interviews and like I'm on the social media platform. But I'm actually quite a shy person, so I can completely relate. But I have to force myself to be a bit more open with like crowds and stuff like that. So I completely understand where you're coming from. But it's crazy because people underestimate it because they're like, "But you come across this way," and I'm just
Mm,
like, "That don't mean shit."
right.
I'm very, yeah, it's one of those things. Huh?
Yeah, you have to force yourself to be that way in front of,
Mm,
especially a group of people. Uh,
mm,
like when I do shows, I'm terrified up there, but because I'm there for them, it's kind of like, okay, they expect a performance, you have to give that performance, So
yeah. So you're
it's
definitely you're what do they call it? You're like a hidden gem,
mm,
and I
not.
hope I hope you bring your shine out. I hope you bring your shine out. Um, so I would say what inspires you to make music, but you said something about doing poetry. So kind of tell us about that. How did you get into poetry, and how did you like start getting inspired to convert that into music?
um Heartbreak. Really, it's
Oh,
just heart. Um, uh, yeah, heartbreak is the main reason why I actually did it. Um,
was you like, did you do creative writing when you were younger, like when you were in
no,
school?
I
Just
actually I hated writing with a passion, and which is weird, but it's like I really did not like writing. It made my hand hurt. I didn't like typing it. I didn't like doing any of that.
oh
But
wow.
the main reason why it was easier for me to do it was because it was therapeutic for me at the time.
Mm,
Um, I was going through a whole lot during the time. My mother, I spoke with her, and she told me the best way to get those feelings out is to put it on paper.
yeah.
So exactly what I started doing, and before I knew it, I was writing, was rhyming. I was like, okay, I could start putting more stuff together. And I just wrote down how I felt every single day until the point where it's like, okay, I got it all out, And then um, I just kept, like I said, I just kept on doing that over and over again to the point where I felt comfortable to, actually say it in front of some other people, you know. So
So so was that the poetry side of things, and then you just converted it into music. So how did you kind of like know which beat went with the kind of scenario of the poem that you were writing?
it just was based on how you feel, like how I felt. Um, every single every single beat that I've ever done was it was more feeling behind the beat, if that makes sense. Excuse me.
Hmm.
But it was more feeling like people when I made a beat, you could feel the beat before you could feel the lyrics. And
Yeah.
I put more of my emotion into the beats that I made. And like I said, I've been doing it for like making beats for like over 15 years. So
Damn.
everything that I felt, if it matched what I was feeling in the beat, well, the feeling of the beat matched the feeling how I felt during the time, then I'll go ahead and put those two things together. So that was just it was pretty easy for me to put those two things together.
So do you produce for other artists as well?
Yes, yes, I produce for a lot of artists around the city.
Do you feel
Um,
like that stops you from doing your own kind of music yourself because
oh,
you're
nothing can stop me from doing my music. uh, it gives me more ideas. It's more fun working with artists and building them up and try to make them the best kind of artists they can be.
mm,
Um, it teaches me things in the process as well. So yeah, it doesn't really hinder me.
okay.
Artists.
It's good to like kind of it's good to be able to collab. So do you like with these artists, do you collab with them as well?
Say again. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So with these artists that you produce for, do you collab with them as well?
Oh yes, yes. There's a few artists that I've collabed with. The main person I collab with, his name is D Staff. He is the main reason why he was the one I was telling you that made me sit down in the studio and I couldn't leave until, you know,
He sounds bossy.
yeah, he is. But it's all the reason he said he's seen something in me that I need to let out. So I went ahead and, you know, worked with
Okay.
him. It's been about, I want to say about a good 8 or 9 years I've been working with D Staff, and
Mm,
he is like an overall like artist, like to the T. Like at this point now, from where I seen him start at to where he's at the moment, um, he he doesn't write anymore. He actually just sits in front of a microphone and just lets it go, and that's the process I'm trying to learn how to do now. So it's a
it must be because I think like if you're a shy person as well, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself,
mm,
because it's kind of like you've got to but it's good that you're learning to do it because you're slowly opening up because it will be literally raw emotions because like when you write things down you can write your emotions down but then you have to make it make sense and stuff like that whereas when you're like straight on the microphone you're doing it as raw as possible so that's the most rawest way to do it so I look forward and I hope you film it as well because
mm,
that's dope to be able to I love seeing the creative process and I think more artists need to do this is let us see you in the studio. Let us see, or even like if you're not in the studio, you're at home. Let us see you in your creative mode because it's so inspiring to see that creative process that you guys go through
mm,
to really to bring that final project out because it's like you can like you obviously you drop the music and then you can do the kind of like the journey in between it or after it or whatever. But it's like I would love to see more of that.
mm.
Um So, if you could collab with anybody, dead or alive, who would you collab with?
Dead or alive. Honestly, I think I would collab with Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is probably my favorite person to collab with because I
Beast,
know one
beast.
thing I noticed about every artist that went to Dr. Dre, they started out one way. When they first came to him, they started out one way, and by the
Mm,
time he was finished with them, they were a whole different type of artist. And the longevity with them is just amazing. Like anybody from Snoop to Kendrick Lamar to Eminem, like their whole sound has just overall changed over time working with Dre.
mm.
Game, like he worked with him for a short period of time, and like a lot of these artists are just different now. It's just
What the new era artist?
yeah.
The
And it's,
new
it's like Dr. Dre, he pulls something out of you that you didn't know you had. So
he's a
that's
inner conscience, as they
right.
can say.
Yeah.
He's like that. That's magic though. Like I
Mm-hmm.
used to I did like I must admit I don't follow him as much now because I'm more in the underground scene so I don't really follow mainstream artists but the OGs you kind of like see them occasionally and stuff like that and you're like you still got it still got
Mm-hmm.
it um if you could change anything about the industry what would you change so if you had the power to change anything about the industry what would you change.
If I could change anything about the industry, this that's a hard one
Mhm.
because I don't know too much about the industry. Like I'm still learning as I go. So it's
From what you know now. So between the transition of like say we'll go back say 2016 to now and what you've learned in that space of time, is there anything you would change in between?
no. I don't think I would change anything because every single thing that happens in the industry is for a reason. Whether it's learning the scams of the industry, you have some people that's going to scam you.
Mm.
You have other people that's going to try to build you up, and you have other people that's literally there just to hold you back. So it shows you basically the whole setup of the industry, in my eyes, is everything that you need to build you up to be the certain artist that you want to be. Some people get it like that, and they never went through anything, right? That way, when some of the other things happen, it's like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it anyway, and they end up losing everything. You know, going through the actual process of the whole industry setup, like from the losses that you take to the wins that you get, everything I feel has its purpose. So I personally wouldn't change anything. I just it it builds you into a character that you're supposed to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. Wow, that's a very different response from what I've heard before. Very different. But I can see where you're coming from though, because it is like it's sometimes it's about being that trial and error situation. Like I've been through that, and I don't even do music or anything like that, but me learning the process and the background of music, that's the
Hmm.
reason why I'm where I am now, because I had to go through all of that and I had to take a step back and stuff like that. And I had to kind of learn about social media marketing. I had to learn about like email campaigns. I had to like build my contact list up. I had to do all of that. And I did that with nobody's help but research and Google, like
Hmm.
literally.
Right.
So it's crazy. And it's only recently that I have actually, there is some people that I've met recently because of places like Clubhouse, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, that I've learned a lot, like stuff that, like you said, it's a purpose. So you learn things from people, and people can sit there and be like, "Oh, you're a user," but at the end of the day, we all use each other in life. That's the fact of it. We use each other to learn from each other, and how. And have you ever heard of the saying, "Reason, seasons, lifetime"? I think it's called "Reason, seasons, lifetime meanings."
I never heard that before.
I think it's that. I'm not very good at remembering like metaphors or anything, but it's something to do with basically some people be in your life for a short period of time, some people be in your life for a long period of time, but every person that comes into your life has a purpose, has a reason for you being there, and you both learn from each other. So when people like be on beef, as they say, to be, I did this for you, I did that for you, and stuff like that. At the end of
Hmm.
the day, you served your purpose. That was it. So,
Right.
and you just got to take your learning from it. And just when you just said that about the music industry, it kind of like it's an insightful thought process, because it's kind of like, hey, I've kind of been through that myself. So I kind of understand where you're coming from. So you have to kind of like you dabble into little bits and pieces. And that's the reason why I'll always stay underground, because that's like I'd rather support underground artists than mainstream artists. And it sounds really bad, but
Hmm.
it's just the fact of the matter. I feel like they need more support, because
Right.
the fan base will grow naturally once you make it. Do you know what I mean? It will grow naturally because you'll have that kind of support behind you, but there's not enough of it for the underground at all.
Hmm.
So, and that's the
Right.
reason why, like, more people, like, I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm far from it and I don't know everything, but
Hmm.
I've come across like-minded people, so that I plug them in, like DJ Hollywood. He is one of my like people that I work with as well. He's based in New York and he does artist interviews as well. So we can like people like that you connect with, because we both support the underground. So
Right.
yeah, so but that just kind of opened my issue. Saying that kind of just made me, and it was a very quick thought process for me, because I don't think that quickly usually. But
Hmm.
thinking what you just said made me just realize that there's a reason why I do what I do,
Hmm.
and the reason why you know not everything changes in the industry for that purpose, because it's like a cycle.
Right.
Wow, you just opened my mind up completely. Damn. Do you feel like the internet has helped like the internet has kind of impacted you as an artist, so, or as a producer? Do you feel like it helps you kind of, because I know you said that you kind of work with like local artists and stuff. Do you work with like a national kind of base? Like, does the internet help you get to that point, or is it something that you're going to be doing in the future?
It helped me. The internet helps a lot, to be honest. Like, there's a few artists that I work with, like in New York, or there was one artist I was originally supposed to work with in Kenya, and then he just kind of disappeared on me. But uh, a lot of the artists that I work with, well, most of the artists I work with have not just been in the same city I've been living in.
Mm.
There's artists I work with in California, all the way to New York, Georgia, Illinois. So it's like I like the internet because it's like a show and tell. You show people your work, and they figure out if they want to work with you or not. Or it's like, I found like one of the artists that was on my album. It was amazing because I found him on SoundCloud. Uh,
Wow.
found him on SoundCloud, and me and him been cool ever since. And he ended up doing the hook for One It All, and it was so crazy how much it pieced together. Like, he set it up so well how to end the album, because how I started it, it was a certain way, and he didn't even hear the beginning of the album yet, but he finished it exactly how he needed to finish it. The fact that he was able to connect it the way he did was amazing to me. You know, so I think
Uh, Purpose. There's a reason. Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, I I'm always amazed by the type of people that I meet online. You know,
Mm.
some people that are far further away are the biggest supporters than the ones that's closest to you. And that's
Yeah. That's so true. Look where I
you know that,
am.
like, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, it's so amazing to me how much it brings people that are going to be there for you, closer to you,
Mm.
who are for you, actually for you, instead of the people that's kind of like, yeah, I'm here for you, and they're nowhere to be found, like, when you need them, and they live in the same place you live. You
Yeah.
know, it's the craziest thing for me.
Yeah, you'll find that. So there's a big saying that you have to go international or go further afield to be able to kind of get the attention of your locals, which is really sad
Hmm.
because it's kind of like, what, so I wasn't worth it before. You didn't see my effort, you didn't see my the work that I put in before, but it took me to go kind of out there for you to
Yeah,
come and see me close up here.
it's the basic concept of people don't know what they have until it's gone. Just like when we lose an artist, um, like somebody, just like how DMX, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew DMX was around, and as soon as he's gone, it's like, dang, we really lost him.
Mm,
Same thing when you leave your city, you go to another city. Dang, we lost his artist. Let's show him support so he can come back. Like, that's the craziest situation about it. Like, a lot of people don't realize what kind of artist that you are or person you are until they end up losing you. You know,
mm.
the best way to find out if you, like,
So which state do you represent? Do you represent Chicago or do you represent Florida?
I represent Chicago all the way.
You're like, I don't live there, but I rep it.
Yeah, yeah, all the way. Like, I got the pool and everything.
Ah, Chicago Bulls.
Yes.
See, I know that one because like I've seen it. I've only ever been through Chicago Airport. That's it.
Mm,
Um, so, what's the kind of the best advice you've been given as an artist, if you remember it? Well, of
Best
course you might remember it because,
artist. Let's see. I actually wrote it down. I wrote it down because it was. Oh my gosh! I wish I could say it, but I can't remember it. I wrote it down somewhere so I can always have it with me. Where did I write it? I wrote it. I really wrote this down like literally a few days ago because it was amazing. Like what was said. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I might page. Um. Jeez. I
Put you
really.
on the spot there, but
Yeah. Oh man. I really just wrote this down somewhere. Um.
give us the concept. Give us the concept.
The concept of it was dang, I can't remember the concept of it. I'm sorry.
It's one of those things where when you need it, it will come to you,
Yeah.
We'll come back to that question if you find it. Or you
Okay.
can let me know, then I can repost it. I'll be like, this is what he was saying. So if you could open up a show for any artist, who would it be?
If I could open up a show for any artist, it would be Kanye West.
Okay. And what's your thought process behind that one? Because he's a little bit wild.
Yeah. I mean,
Old
opposites.
old Kanye or new Kanye?
Old Kanye,
All right, that's cool. Yeah.
but more on the side of like was it My Dark Twisted Fantasy Kanye? That Kanye I would like to be around to open up for. Cause
Hmm.
just I don't know, it's just the creativity that he puts behind his work is just amazing to me. Like
Hmm.
wait to like the setups and like just building everything.
Do you feel like since he's married Kim Kardashian, do you feel like he's kind of really changed, or do you feel like it was just in him?
Like what do you mean? Like what as far as like
I don't know, like I just find just he's not like I'm very like when it comes to change and stuff like that, I'm very like it takes me a long time to accept it. Like the old Kanye, like the Kanye that who came when he first came out, that's the Kanye I like. I like that
mhm.
Kanye and his music like Jesus Walks, that's one of my favorite tracks and stuff like that. So that's
um I think he's still the same person. Personally, I think he's
really.
still the same he's always been. Nothing's changed. It's just because he always been a person about his ego. Like
Mm,
um, that was if it wasn't his rapping, it was about his beats. He was very big about his beats. If you're not gonna use it, I will.
mm,
Like that's how he was. And I
mm,
you why you should have used this beat when I gave you the chance to use it. That's that's one of the things I actually liked about Kanye. Well, like about Kanye, even though it seemed like he's changed, he's always been a person that speaks his mind. No matter how it comes out, he's going to speak his mind. You know,
mm.
it might not come the right way, but he's always going to say it.
Yeah, maybe because sometimes, like when someone says something, sometimes it's because it's not relatable to you at that time. So that might be the reason why, like, I'm kind of like, oh, you've changed, like, kind of thing. Kind of, you're not the Kanye that I liked back in the day and stuff like that. So maybe that, and I felt like that had happened because of going into that marriage with Kim Kardashian and
Mm,
stuff. So I don't know. It's just. I just feel like it's just not the same. There's a lot of artists that I feel like they're just not the same as they were. They're trying to keep up with something that temporarily, because there's the music. No offense to the people that do this music, but the people that do kind of the new era music that not even new era. I'm not going to even give it an era.
mm,
Do you know what I mean? Like the music
yeah.
that's kind of like that comes out these days. I'm like. Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? So,
All right.
I've got another question. You don't have to answer this, or you can just say if you don't have it. But do you have a useless talent?
A useless talent?
Mm.
Uh, I don't think so. I don't think I have a talent. Um, no,
No?
no, I don't think.
Um, I just want to check the question box. So I think we've got some questions that's come through. Hold on. I think he's going to listen to. Are you more R&B or hip hop?
Like as far as what I listen to, or just in general, as me as an artist. It,
Um, Answer
it's
both, just in case.
I'll answer both. Um, I love R&B more than I love hip hop, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I kind of like, I feel that kind of goes into your blend of music as well, because the way your sound is.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
But my moments where it's like like hip hop is going to outweigh R&B. It really all depends on my mood, really. Like sometimes I feel like an R&B day, like it feels like an R&B day, and other days it feels like a hip hop day. It
Mm.
it really all depends on the mood of the moment, pretty much.
So King Dominio said, "Are you are more R&B or hip hop as an artist?"
Okay, as an artist, yes, I'm more hip hop as an artist, um, because with hip hop you can do just about anything with it. You can make it a country song. You can make it anything you want, like anything you want to.
Now I don't know what this means, but he's put sneakers or urban. I don't know what that means. Hey girl,
Sneakers.
what are urbans? Are they like a type of shoe?
I'm guessing that was my guess. I was guessing the shoes, and by urban like a like a like a casual shoe.
Yeah. I have no idea what they are. So King's Dominio, if you're here still, let us know what they are. In
Yeah.
fact, let me bring him on. Let me bring him on because he's hold on, let me see if I can invite him. Oh no, I can't. Oh, can I do it up here? Hold on. Yes, I can. Since he's got questions. Let's bring him on. I don't know if he's available. I've never done this before where I've brought people when the guests on, the audience on. I don't know if they're gonna come through. Hey.
What up, gang?
What's going on?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right.
Coolin', man. That's what's up. I'm an artist myself. That's why I asked, though.
Mm-hmm.
What's
So,
Fast, fast.
urban?
so what's different?
I was saying like urban. It's like just like dress shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
figured it was. I'm more of a sneaker person than
Fast, fast.
yeah.
I'm gonna link you with my bro down there. His name Cash Capone. I'm gonna put it in your DM.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
Yeah, you can link with him. He out there where you at in Jackson and stuff.
Okay. That,
no. You got
Fast.
any more questions?
Uh, when your next project coming?
I'm actually working on it now. Um, hopefully it should be done by the end of this year. If not, the beginning of next year.
Love, love. How many features you got on it? You doing it? You got any slots for a feature?
Um, this one I don't think I'm gonna have that many features on it, like the last one. It all depends on.
Okay, fast, fast.
I think your sound's got if it's your sound or my sound's gone.
Is it my
It's
sound?
back. It's back.
Huh?
Is my
It's
sound?
back.
Oh, it's back. Okay. That's cool. Thanks for joining us, by the way, King Dominio.
Huh?
I said thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I ain't doing that on the job, man.
Oh my God, you speak so Atlantean.
So who?
I
So
get
who?
at lunch feeling. What's that?
For pocket full.
What? I don't know what that is.
I know you listen to Lil Baby.
Yeah.
For pocket full, that hit brand.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Dope. Dope. So, I've got no more questions. So, thank you, King Dominio, for asking those extra questions as well. We are gonna wrap this.
1,000, 1,000.
We are gonna wrap this interview up, and I'm glad that you guys have got to network as well. I really appreciate that as
Oh,
well.
for sure, for sure.
This is the first kind of like time I've brought people onto the live because I forgot that you can do that. You can add people onto the live
I
and stuff.
forgot. Hey,
So that's dope.
I forgot all about the new way they work the live. I forgot all about that.
I know it's dope, isn't it? If you
Yeah,
don't
that's
mind,
dope. Yeah,
Paul. But I'm glad you
for
guys can
sure.
network. Make sure you follow each other as well. And you know, as I say, he's a beat maker, so and he's a producer, so you guys can work together and stuff. It
Hit
doesn't have to
fast.
be in person and stuff. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up
Appreciate
now.
that, gang.
So,
All right, King, you
um,
be good, brother. All right, Queen.
thank you. Have a good day or afternoon or evening, whatever time it is there. There's no time zone. It looks beautiful. All right then. Well, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us today. I really appreciate it, and we'll definitely hit up. And I can't wait to see these projects and you just kind of see what you can do. You can network, see how the internet can impact you. See,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
definitely do. Like, hopefully see more projects and stuff. And next time you drop a video or a project, just tag me and I'll promote it for you, okay? And
Okay.
then hopefully, if say 6 or 7 months time, we'll catch up again and see where you're at, okay?
Okay.
So get moving.
Got
So,
you.
all
I'll
right
get
then. I'll speak to you later. Thank you so much for joining us.
no
Take
problem.
care. Bye.
All right.
Well, guys, that was Paul North. So make sure you guys go follow him. Thank you, King Dominio, for actually coming on to the onto the live as well and asking the questions. Love it when that happens because it means that you're really networking and stuff like that. Also, I will be taking a break from interviews for the next 2 weeks. Not next this week. So first week of May, and the second week of May, and then I'll be back. Well, not taking a break from the internet, just taking a break from doing interviews. But if you are interested in you can wait till the end of May. Come and get me. Come and get me. Come and do come and do my deal. If you can get me to fly over to America, then I'll be well happy. So if you've got a jet, hit me up. So, but anyway, guys, thank you so much. And I will be back again with another interview on Wednesday with Candy Bard and also little boy AJ. And then I'm also going to be doing MM Babies on Thursday. And then I do have one on Friday, but I can't remember the name right now. But keep an eye out on my posts. Hit that bell right up there. We also have something coming on the way with Forever and myself in June. So keep an eye out. So that's what I'm saying. Keep those bells on because lots of stuff coming through this summer. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, I am Paul North, for joining me today. And for Philip Queen T, you are the queen. Thank you so much. This is Mimsy, UK official.